Hello, everybody. In this screencast, we're going to go over the in-class assessment number 2, the solution for it, and we'll first start with the Android app. So basically, the app is pretty simple. You have a list of employees, and when it displays for you the list of employees like this. And then basically you have you click on an employee, it takes you to the employee purchases. All right. So before we go into purchases, there is a select feature that is available, which allows you to select which department. You see there are departments here: IT, finance, HR, which department the employee is in. And basically you pick which department, and then you send it back here and you filter. So let's go look at the rubric. So the rubric says display the employees as shown in figure 1A. All right, so I'll start with that. So if we go back here, this is the employees. I want to display the employees as shown here. All right, so you are provided with, let me take this out of the way a little bit here. And so basically you are provided with data class. So there is a data service class, and basically every method is private except get employee, get instance. And then from instance, then you are able to get employees. Right. So basically if you go look at the employees fragment, and I already populate for you the list of employees. All right. The layouts are not provided, so I'll go and create these layouts quickly. So let's go look at the main activity first. So here's the main activity. I want to load the employees fragment, right? So we'll come back to it, but let's build the employees fragment. So here's the employees fragment. All right, here it is. I'll change the frame layout to a constraint layout. Here it is. Let me use this one. This 1-to-1. All right. So basically, if I look at the employees, you see that the employees has a title and then has some other information under that. So I can use a tab bar, but I don't have time for this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a text view, drag from here to here, and that becomes my tab, the title at the top. So basically here I'll just give it a little bit of padding, let's say 10 dp. I go back here and I have some tabbing or padding, and basically make it a little bit bigger. All right, and this is the employees. There's a copy, and I have employees. All right, so here it is, employees. Here we are. Okay, good. And then you have two text views, one text view and two buttons, 1 and 2. And I'll make these buttons under here. Let's say we give it a little bit of a margin. There's the other button, and here we are. And I have the two buttons, and then this is filtered by. So I'll do this 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then this is filtered by. All right, so filtered by or filter by, and this is bold. All right, here it is. Cool. And then there is a text box under that. So let me go get a text box, text view, put it here, and I'm going to put it under the buttons just for the sake of a space. Put it under the button, give it a little bit of a margin, expand it, and I'll call it text view filter. All right, and it shows all records to start with. So I'm just gonna do here Control-C, and all records to start with. Here it is, all records to start with. And then I'll use, there are no buttons here, so I could just simply use a list view. So I'm gonna add a list view. Here is the list view, and basically the list view is under here, and 1, 2, 3, and I'll just make the heights and the width to be zeros. All right, so here's my list view. Give it a little bit of a margin at the top, and let's call it list view. All right, so I have the list view, these buttons. One of them is called reset and then select. So this one is reset, right? Reset, and then this one is select. Okay. And this button, I'm going to call it the button select, and this one is button reset. All right. All right, so I have set up the IDs, I have the labels, I have the list view, and so on. And employees at the top, I can make this a little bit bigger. Let's make it 18. I'll make it 18. I can make it bold also. So here's employees. Perfect. So now I have that set up. And now I need interface or XML interface for 3 text views. It has the name, the department, and the purchases. So I need to create one. So I'll go in, and they have given us one already for the department, right? Which are these. But I want to create another one. So what I could do is I could just go here, Control C, Control V, and then I could call it list item for employee, right? So I have one here for the employee, and basically I don't need, let me go back to the container view. You see there is a constraint layout. I pick it, and then I make the height match parent so that I just can expand it. And then these ones I deleted. And basically the palette, I need 3 text views, 1, 2, and 3, and make the name a little bit bigger than the other ones. Let's make the name a little bit bigger. See, this is gonna be the name. All right. Okay, that's the name. So basically we're building this one, name, department, and purchases. So basically department is gonna be just a text box here. All right, give it a little bit of a margin, and then the purchases on the other side. Okay, so basically this is gonna be the name, and this is gonna be the department, and then similarly this is gonna be purchases. All right. Perfect. So then we are here. I go back to the component tree, constraint layout, make this one wrap content, and here is the box that represents this. Okay. All right. So let me hide the sidebar so that you get more space here. Okay. So basically we built this layout, and it's called list item employee. All right. Good. So now we go back here, and let me look at the main activity. Does it have, yes, it has ID main. That's where we want to put things. All right, so I'll do get support fragment manager, begin transaction, dot replace, and this is main with the employees. So this is employees fragment. Okay. Now I know from here that the employees fragment is going to go somewhere to select and then send something back. So this means that I need to give it a tag, right? Because I know that I will have to find it by tag. Right? So here is the tag. So I have the support fragment done. Now let me go back to the employees fragment. Also note that I think the build features, so view binding is enabled. Okay, cool. So now we're here. We have an array of employees, right? And then basically I would like to display these employees. So now I need an adapter. So I'll go here, great. Let me just get a little bit of space. Okay, let me scroll up a little bit. More space so that I can scroll up. Okay, now class, and this is going to be the employees. Let me disable this guy for the time being. All right, so I'll disable completions. All right, here it is, class. And this is going to be employees adapter extends array adapter of type what employee. All right, here we are. And then basically if you hover over here and you pick create constructor, and I need this one, right, which has the list. Here's that. And then we know that the method that I would like to implement is getView. GetView, there it is, and I know that I'm going to return the convert view, right? So basically I'm always going to return the convert view, and here we'll just use binding. Okay, so basically we're going to return the convert view, and then we'll use binding. The binding, remember, the list is called the list item employee, right? So we have list item employee binding. We call it item binding, right? Right, so then we check to see if this is boilerplate convert view is equal to null, right? Then we do something else. We do something else. Else we say item binding equals convert view dot get tag. All right, so that's this, and then we cast it. This is all boilerplate, right? Else we do item binding equals list dot inflate get inflator dot parent dot false. This is again all boilerplate. And then we do convert view equals to item binding dot get root, right? And then we do convert view dot set tag item binding. That okay, cool. So that's how we're gonna do this. And then basically here we get the employee equals to get item at position, right? Item binding text view name dot set text is employee dot get name. All right, and then similarly item binding text view department dot set text employee dot get department. All right, good. Item binding dot text view purchases dot set text. And then when I do employee dot get purchases, which is an array list of purchases, and then we do the size, right? So this is the number of purchases, and we want to see add to it purchases, right? To be safe, also, if you only just want to show the number, we'll do string dot value of, and we pass it this. All right, so we're good here. We are passing the number of purchases as purchases here, and we're returning the convert view. Here is my adapter, and I can get my points very quickly. Here is adapter. And then after we do all of that, we just go in and say adapter equal to new employee adapter, and it needs to get context. It needs also a resource. So r.layout.items employee, and then this is employees. All right. So now if I run this, I should see the list of employees. All right. So we go here. I run it, and I'm not getting this. Oh, we created the adapter, but we never told the binding. Oh, let's set a binding for this layout. So it's called the employees fragment. So fragment employees binding. And similarly here, binding dot equals fragment employee bindings inflate get inflator container false return binding dot get root, which here it is. And then basically here we have binding dot text view list view dot set adapter. All right, so cool. So when we do all of this, I should see the list of employees. All right, so I have the list of employees displayed. Here are the employees. See? So I'm done with the first part. So now let me go and see what's the second part. So basically I'm done with the first part. Scroll all the way down. Display the departments as shown in figure 1b. Account for selected departments. Send back the list of departments. Okay, cool. So basically we are trying to build this screen. So basically you select departments. There is also another list view, and it has these checkboxes, and there is 2 buttons at the bottom. Okay, cool. So basically let me build that screen. So if we go to where is select departments, purchase department, select filter, it's this one, and the one I built is this one. So I'm going to copy it, Control A, Control C. I just copy the employees. At least it has the title at the top, right? So here it is, Control V. Just to keep consistency, I'll copy it from here to here in the tools, and I can remove this, Control A, Control X, Control V. So basically I have all of that. Now I can remove things. Maybe I can leave the list view, right? So basically I'm going to leave that list view, but I'm going to delete that text, these texts that I don't need. Yes, and I need 2 buttons. Cool. So I'm going to do this. And the list view, let's give it a little bit of a margin. What is it again? Select department filters. Is that? This is going to be okay. And then I need 2 buttons. So I go back to the palette. I get 2 buttons. 1, 2. Get some space. All right, that's the spacer. And it is 1, 2. Then I have 1 button down here, and then 1 button down here. And where is the spacer? Let's pull it down here. And we can now set up these buttons. Take this one to be here. Okay. And then this one to the other side of the spacer. All right. And then we can expand their sizes. Give it a little bit of a margin on this side. Similarly, here is this one, and give it a little bit of margin on this side. And we're good with the buttons. Right. So here is the list view. I can drag it all the way down here and give it a little bit of a margin. All right. So I have my list views, and I now need to set up these buttons. Right. So, and the buttons are what? Cancel and submit. Okay, good. So now I go back here. So there are 2 buttons. Let me go back here. This is this button. So this is the cancel button, I think. This is going to be cancel and submit. Okay, good. So this is going to be button cancel. Button submit. This is submit. And then this one is cancel. Okay. All right, perfect. So we have them done. The button submit, buttons cancel are done. Okay, let's go back again to the initial one, which is the employees fragment. And if we go back, we have these 2 buttons. So one of them is select, the other one is reset. Perfect. So we have these buttons. Everything is set up here. Cool. So we want to go to the departments, select departments filter, right? So we'll do that first. So in order to do that, we go back to the employees fragment and we set up the on-click handlers for the buttons. So bindings dot button select dot set on-click listener new is that, and then similarly binding dot button reset dot set on-click listener new, and here we go. Okay, good. So basically that's these 2. I need an interface because I'm going to talk to the. So I'm going to build the interface. I'm going to take this out here. I have a public interface, and I call it employees listener. All right. Now this is all boilerplate, so I'm going to turn on the auto completion. So let's see here if I have enabled completions. Perfect. So now I go to void, go to select department filter, right? Okay. And so that's this one first to start with, and then again I need the on attach. On attach, and then here it is implemented, and then mlistener will do mlistener dot go to select here, and then basically the main activity has to implement this method. So where is the main activity? Here is that implements, and here is the interface, and here we go. We want to go somewhere, so we'll copy this from here. I'll paste it here, and where do we want to go? We want to go to the select. It's called the department select filter, and then add to backstack. So basically here, do add to backstack null, which is the default backstack. Cool. So when we do this, we'll go to that screen. So if we run it, we'll see that it takes us to the other screen. Right, here we are. Select takes us to select departments. Okay, good. So we're in. Now, if we look a little bit, so these are employees, and we want a unique set of departments, which I think a lot of people had difficulties getting. So basically, in order to get the list of departments, it's straightforward. We just loop over the users, get the departments, put them in a set, and then you have the set of departments, and you're done. So basically, this is all. Okay, good. So now here, let's set up the binding, fragment, department binding, here we are. And then similarly, we do it here as we did before, okay. And then on view created, all right. All right, so cool. So now we want the set of departments. So basically, if we go here, it's a array list of string, and it's called departments. Let's call it M departments. All right, so that's going to be ultimately what we want, right? So now here we need to set up the departments. So basically I'm gonna go here and I'll go ahead, create a private void setup departments. All right, so basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to loop. So I need a hash set of string. I'll call it department set. Here it is, and then I'll loop over the departments. So for each, get the users, right? So for each employee, okay, employee emp from the data service. Where is that? Data service dot get instance. Get employees. So now import that class. Here is the for each, right? And I'll just say department set dot add the employee. And then basically here I have the set of departments. So I'm going to do m departments equal to this, and we're good. So basically now you have the department. So basically when you do set of departments, it does all of that. So I can do that even here when I come in here. But anyway, I'm going to call it, so called setup department, right? I can even make it return this list of objects. So basically I can make it return an array list. Let's do the array list of string. Okay, and then it returns that. You just return new, return. So basically this is just a conversion from the hash set to the list. So you have that here. You have the department. So basically here I could go in and say m departments dot clear m departments dot add all and set up departments. So basically it just goes in and sets the departments. Now we need to set up the adapter. So I need an array adapter for, yeah, oh, I have to think about something else. So basically when you click, I can display the department, that's not a problem. But when you click on one of them, it needs to record if it does exist or no. So I can, they are strings. I can have a set of selected departments. So basically I can go here, I have a string. Oh, this is my adapter, sorry. String, this is the adapter. Now let's create the adapter. New array adapter. Array adapter, get context, comma. Yeah, we'll use the r.layout. Oh, no, I need to create an adapter. I need to create a custom adapter. Okay, so let's create the custom adapter, which is straightforward. Again, do class department adapter extends, here it is, and this is it. Okay, and I go in here, create constructor, we'll pick this one, and here we go. Perfect, so we have that, and then get view, same story, get view, and we are going to return the convert view. Right, so we are always going to return that convert view. And now this is all boilerplate again from the previous case. So basically we have, if you look here in the layouts, they have a layout for that department. So basically it, the list item department. So there is list item department binding. This is item binding. And then we do this, if convert view, get root, set tag. All of this is boilerplate code. Same, here it is. And then item binding dot text view main dot set text to departments. Cool. So here it is again, and we return the convert view. All right, so item binding, things look good here. Okay, very good. So we have the department adapter. And now if we go back here, we have it's not an array adapter again, it's just a department adapter. You know, this is our department adapter. And basically we add all, and then we create the adapter equal to new department adapter. or .list.item. Okay, perfect. And then you bind the list view to the adapter. Now if we run it, you will see the list of departments. So let's see. Select, and here's the list of unique departments. These are the unique departments. Now when we click, we want to update something here. So basically when we click, we record. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a set of selected departments. So basically I'm going to go in here, a hash set of string, and call it, for example, selected departments. Here it is. And whenever I go here, I'll just clear the set. You know, we don't need to do that. We're not going anywhere, so we can keep it like this. So here's my selected departments. Now we do this. We go here and say binding dot list view dot set on item click listener new on item click listener. So now basically what I'm going to do, I'm just going to disable auto completion so that we can discuss what's going on here. All right. So basically this is the list. So basically I could say if. So now I need the department. So string department equals to m departments dot get at position. So this is the position. So sorry, at position. So I have the department. Okay, good. So now I check to see if selected department contains the department. Then remove it. Then select the department dot remove department. Right. Else select the department dot add department. So basically I add it if it's there, and if it's not, and then I'll do adapter dot notify dataset has changed. So basically all what I'm doing is I'm getting what department that the user picked, and I have a list of selected departments. So not a list, this is a hash set. A set is able to compute contains very efficiently. So I check to see, does it contain the department? If it does, I remove it because I will change the state. And then here in here, I can do some checks. I could say, for example, if selected departments contains department, right? Do something else, do something else. So basically I have an item binding dot image view dot set image resource r dot drawable dot ic. If it does contain it, so we'll have the field checked, right? If it does not contain it, we'll have the other one. This is how we draw them. So ic not checked. So now if I run this, select now engineering, custom support, sales, finance, legal. I can remove and add of them, and you can see it works. Now, when you are done, this set of selected departments has the unique set of departments that were selected. So basically, all what I have to do now is just send them back. So now what I could do here is I can create an interface. Okay, I need an interface, public interface, and that is the department select listener. Right, and then void done selecting departments, and it's an array list. I'm going to say the array list of string, or I can send the hash set. It's fine. So I have a hash set. Okay, so these are the departments. Void cancel. Okay, canceling selecting departments. And again, I'm going to turn on completion because this is all boilerplate again. So enable completions. Here's the Control C for this. I need to create or attach. And here we are. Okay, good. So now we have that. And we have the on view created here. We can do some binding. Dot set on button submit dot set on click listener new on click listener, and similarly binding dot button cancel dot set on click listener, set on click listener new view, and this is bind m listener dot cancel selection. Here we can do some checks to see if selected departments dot size is greater than 0, then we do this. Otherwise, we can just show a toast. right? We can just, so please select at least one department, something like that, right? So basically we can do something like this. It goes back. Let's implement that interface in the main activity. And we go here, comma, here's in the main activity and implement, and here we are. So canceling just pops the backstack, right? So pop the backstack. The other one is we have to find it by tag, but before we do that, we have to send it in. So here is the employees fragment. Now let's say we go here and we have a hash map. So we have a hash set of department filter, right? And import, and basically we just create a setter for it. So basically we go here, a setter for department filter. Cool. So when we go back here, all what I have to do is find it by tag. So basically I need to find the employees. So employees fragment, find it by tag. You see here, this is the same tag as this one. Check to see if it's null. If it's not null, then you set and pop the backstack, right? So we set the departments to here, and all what this does is just sets the department, by the way. Department filter just sets the department. So now we will worry about this in a little bit, but I can check to see if this is happening or no, or I can do the code. It's straightforward. So basically here we have all the employees, right? These are all the employees in the world, right? And what I could do is, because I'm going to get a list from the system, so I can keep these. This is all the employees. So basically I can go here, I right click, I could say refactor, rename to all employees. So that's all the employees. And then basically I could create another one, which is the filtered one. So Control Z, Control C, Control V. And this is all filtered employees. And this is what gets actually displayed. So basically the list needs to, when you're creating it, will pass it on this. And then the idea is to figure out which one is which. So basically I need to figure out, so I already, here when you come in, you get all the employees, right? So basically now I need to figure out if there is so basically let's say we initialize it, see the hash set, so the department, so basically if department filter is empty, right? Then we clear the employees, we add all the employees in it. Otherwise, we clear all the filter employees, we loop over all the employees, and then department filter contains employee get department. If it contains the department, then add that employee to the mfilters, right? And notice that, so mfilter employees is what we are going to pass on to the adapter. And then basically we can also play with the text box that appears. So basically if you go back, you see there's, we could say all records here. So basically we could see binding dot set button to all records, right? Here it is. All records. And then here we could just do we could do what department. So basically what I could do is I could join it. So basically there is a string.join and I could join. So basically I could do string.join and then I could pass it the department filter with a comma, right? So it's not happy, but maybe what we could do, we could say new array list of string department filter. So we could do something like this. Oh, okay, we'll figure it out in a little bit. So here is binding.textViewFilter.setText, and they need string.join. Here is the character sequence. Okay, we can just pass it the department filter and it seems happy and we're good. So basically I could do something like this, right? And then actually I could also handle the reset case. It's very easy because after all of this is said and done, I could do the reset case. The reset case is this part. So basically is this part. Tuck. And we do the department filter dot clear, right? So here it is. We clear the department filter, we clear this, we add all the employees, and then we say all records, and then we do adapter notified it's a change. So I addressed both, so let's run it and see. Here it is. and I'll select, let's say, engineering and customer support, and I click on submit. It says engineering customer support, and you can see I'm only seeing engineering and customer support users. Now, if I click on reset, I'm still getting all records and then everything. So let's say we go let's select sales and click on submit. We are only seeing sales. Select again. Let's say we do IT, HR, and legal. Click submit, legal, HR, IT, and we can see them here. Reset, and we're good. So we are done with the second part of the selection. We're done with this. Now we click, we go somewhere. So we click, we will go somewhere. Let's address that. So we're done with all these parts. Okay. Now we are in part 3, display the purchase object. Okay, so let's have a look at the purchase object. So here is the employee purchase, right? And basically there is a filter by also all records, right? And there is a reset button, and there is a table, there is a list view. All right, so let me go back and let's build the layout. Oh, let's go, right? So basically this means let's build the layout first. All right, so the purchases, here it is. And let's copy the closest one to it is what? Is the department select filter or the employees? Let's just copy one of them, employees, right? Or let's say purchases and department select. I copy department select, Control O, Control C. We close that. We go back here, and I can go here, and basically purchases fragment. And here's purchases fragment, and here we are, Control A, Control X, Control V. So here we are. Okay, now we go back to the layout, and it needs to look something like this. So basically is 1-to-1. Let's make it a little bit bigger. This is what the employee purchases. Okay, all right, so here's the employee purchases, and then there is this guy. We close it. Okay, and they are saying that you can click on this. So I'm not going to use a text view. So yeah, things are going to be a little bit interesting here. And there is a space that we don't need, but at least we have the two fields here. Now, if you look a little bit at the instructions, it says that you should be able to click on this button. So basically that's why I'm going to use in order to do that, I'm going to use a recycler view. All right, good. So I need to also build this layout. Okay, so let me build the layout. So let me go and copy the employee, paste it, and I call it, for example, this is the purchase. Okay. All right, looks something like this. So basically I'll go in, same thing. I'm gonna go in, and the height, I'm gonna make it match parent, and I have all these 3 heights. These 3, I don't need them. All right, good. So now we go back in. We need the date. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and an image view. And here is the filter. Where's that? Okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 text views. So we don't need the third one here. Bye-bye. And then we go in 1 and 2, and here it is. And then you have this button. Let's make it 40 dp. Here is that. And then similarly 40 dp. Here it is. We can make it a little bit smaller, but we will let's just get it in place. All right, so we have that. We have the button, and then we need this here. Okay, and here, and let's give it a little bit of a margin. Too big. I'll make it 8. Okay, and then similarly here is 1, and here is 2. Okay, I think we're good. We have all of them set up. So one of them is the date, right? So text view date. And then this icon is going to be the filter. All right, and then there is the cost, right? So cost. And then finally, there is the number of items, right? Number items, num items. All right, so we're good. We have all of them. And then similarly, we can go to the tree here and then wrap content. So we have that field. I also like to add this into I know it doesn't say that, but I will add it into a card view. So basically, if you go here into the palette, search card view. Where is the card view? I'll drag it, drop it inside here. Add project dependency. Okay, add the dependency. Okay, and it's adding the dependency. While it's doing that, I will wait. It's doing some analysis here. If we don't need it, we can remove it, but it will do some analysis. We just have to wait a little bit, and then it will add the library for the card view, right? Okay, and once this gets added, I will add the card view. Okay, it's syncing in progress. So let's see, will it add the card view? Yes, it added the card view at the top. At the bottom here, I'll copy that from here, right? And then I'll add it as the top item. So basically I'll go in and add it here. It's not happy, right? Because all the namespaces are not included. I'll do this, and I'm gonna copy at least these, Control X, Control V, and then I will add this guy inside here. Okay, and then the height is wrap content, the width is match parent. Okay, and I don't need these. Okay, and we go back and we have a card view. Give it a little bit of a margin. So that card view needs a little bit of a margin just to come out. So basically I go here, margin, let's say 4 dp, so that you could see the card view. All right, so we have the card view, right? Perfect. So we have everything set up. We have the card view. We have things looking a little bit good here. All right, good. So and we have all of that, and we're good to go. So basically, we have the purchase, and now let's go back to the purchase, fragment purchase. Now I need to add a recycler view, right? So basically, if you look here, I need a reset button and some kind of a text, right? All right. So basically, I'll get text view here, a button, another text view, right? So basically, let's add the button first. And this is a reset button. I think I have a reset button somewhere else, maybe in the employee. Yeah, I'll copy that from here, and then I'll paste it also in the purchase. Okay, cool. So here it is, and it's under here, under this guy. Give it a little bit of a margin. Reset, and then there is a text box here, text view. Here's 1, 2, and here we go 3. And then this guy is also 1, 2, and it has some kind of, it's between these two. Okay, and we'll make it a little bit, occupy the whole space. Okay, give it a little bit of margin here and a little bit of margin here. Similarly, this guy, wrap content, it's good, but this one is filtered by, copy this from here. Here is filtered by. Okay, and we can make it a little bit bold also, bold. And then this one is the filter, summary, something like that. And it starts off by all records, so I'm going to copy that here. Here is that. This is the reset button, reset number 2. I need to make it reset. So Control F, reset. It says reset 2. Yeah, I think we're good now. All right, so here is the reset. Okay, here are the reset buttons. Here are these guys, and then I need a recycler view. So I'm going to go in and add a recycler view. So how do I do that? Palette recycler view. Here it is. Drag and drop. Add the dependency. Okay. Hopefully it adds the dependency, and we're good. Here we are. Go here, here, and here. And then we make also add this constraint, then 1 and then 2. We have our recycler view. Here is recycler. Okay, cool. So we're good. We have the recycler view, we have the items, and we have the purchases and everything. All right, good. So now let's make it a little bit of a margin here and a little bit of a margin here. And we have our recycler view. Good. So we have most of the things, right? Now, what happens is that when you click on the employee, we need to send the employee to this screen. Okay, so good. So now we know that the purchases fragment will need the employee, right? So we know that there is one argument that we have to send in initialization, and this is called employee. All right, so basically we need to send one item, and that item is called employee. And we call it employee, and it's of type what? Employee. Okay, and employee. Okay, this one is out and this one is out. Now here we are going to implement this method. The first parameter is an employee, and then put serializable. Well, employee. Now I can go and check in the model to see if employee implements serializable. It does, right? And also the purchase implements serializable and item implements serializable. All of them implement serializable, so that we can serialize the whole object, right? So here it is. We don't need the other parameter. And in the onCreate, we do employee, get arguments, get serializable, and this one is arg employee, right? Needs to be casted. We'll do that in a little bit. Go here, cast it, and we're good to go. So we have the employee binding, so it's fragment purchases binding. Here it is. And then we need to okay, so we have the binding variable setup. We go here, binding equals, and I don't need this now, and then on view created. All right, so basically we have the employee. So basically we are able to pass the employee, right? So now let's go back to the employees fragment. Now when we click, we have an adapter, that we have an interface. So that interface, we need a void, go to purchases, and you send it an employee. And where is that? That's in the, when you click on the list. So basically here, binding.listView.set on item click listener new, and then basically we get mListener.go to purchases, and we do mFiltered employees.get. Make sure it's mFiltered because that's the one that the adapter knows about, right? And the position. Now we have to implement this method in the main activity. Okay, go here, and implement the method. Here it is. And then basically here we just need to replace. So basically I'm going to copy all of that stuff from here, and we go here, and instead of going to the departments, we will go to the purchases fragment.new instance, and we pass the employee. Cool. So now we can check the plumbing, you know, when we go in. Let's see. When we click on a user, it needs to go to the next screen, right? And we'll go and see what to do here, how to calculate these values and so on, right? Okay. Here we are, we pick a user and we go here. Cool. So we're in, right? Now let's go back and set up that other screen. So basically now we go, if you look at the employee class, so here's the employee class, there is a list of purchases. So basically they want us to display this list of purchases. Each purchase, if you look at the purchase, each purchase has a date, which I can display here. Perfect. Now, how many items? I can get it from the list of items. The total expense of a purchase is, if you look at each item, the item has a name. I don't care about the name. Has the price and has the quantity. You multiply the price by the quantity, and then you add that value for each one of the items that is in the list. You know, and that is the cost that you have. So basically, this means that I have to repeat that for every purchase. So what I could do is I could go here. I could have a public method, and it returns a double, get total. So basically total equal to 0, and then for the item, it's not so basically total equals total plus the item, get the item price times the item quantity, and that's the total, and you return the total for each one of the lists. All right, good. So now we go back, and this means that I'm gonna use this. I already built the layout for this. I can display this now. All right, so basically let's go back to the list of purchases. So we go back again to the purchases, right? So I have an employee, right? From that employee, I can get the list of, I'm assuming that I'm going to get the list of purchases, right? So now here, let's create our adapter. So now we have a recycler view. So we need to build a recycler view adapter. Let me just give myself a little bit of space. All right, so that the cursor is in the middle of the screen. Okay, good. Class, we call it purchases adapter extends recycler view dot adapter. See here, adapter, and I don't have the view holder, so open close class purchase view holder, and here is the purchase view holder. Copy that here, paste this one here. It's not happy, I'll implement the method, and here we are. Oh, there is something incorrect. Okay, import the class, and we're good. Okay, good. So here we are. We have all of that stuff done. Now, what's the size? The size is employee.getPurchases.size. All right, so we have that. Now, the view holder pattern and all of that stuff, I like to do what? I have created a layout. The layout is called the item purchase, right? So basically, I'm going to change that into view holder. So basically, I'm going to use the data binding approach. So I have list item purchase binding, and this is the item binding. I'm going to copy that from here, and that's what you send in. Okay, and then basically this one is going to be item binding dot get root, and then this dot item binding equal item binding, right? Okay, and then we have public void on bind. And you're going to send me what? You're going to send me a purchase. Okay, cool. So you're going to send me a purchase. Then from that purchase, I'm going to do things a little bit, but then I'll do item binding. We'll come back to it, right? I'll come back to this. Okay, so now here in the, when you on create view holder equal to, okay, so we do this, and then we do return. Oh, sorry. We have the item binding. We return. You need to return a view holder. So we'll do this new, this guy with item binding. Okay, perfect. And then here we get the purchase. So basically we do view holder employee get purchases dot get at position on bind. Perfect. So we have that. Now I'm going to store it because when you click, you need to go somewhere. You know, it seems that when you click, you need to go somewhere else. So I'm going to store it. I'm going to store the purchase. So I'm going to call it purchase purchase. All right. And I'm going to say this dot this dot purchase equal to purchase. Item binding text view cost dot set on click listener dot set on text string dot value of purchase dot get total amount. All right, so that's the total amount, and I put a dollar price beside it. Okay, good. So I can do here's the purchase. All right, and then I have the date. Okay, string date formatter, simple date formatter. Here's that. Set date to get purchase date, right? Get purchase date. Item binding text view number of items dot set text. Okay, purchase get items, and then here's items. Perfect. So we have that adapter setup. Control C. And then where do we do this? We do this here. There is some boilerplate code we have to do. So basically I have to slice this is adapter. Go back in, and then we'll do adapter equal to this. before we do this, binding.recyclerView.set layout manager, new linear layout manager, get context. So here is the linear layout manager, binding.recyclerView set adapter. I think this is perfect. This should work and display them correctly. So let's see. Here it is. We click, and here it is. We can format. So basically, this is this part. So basically, I need to format the total as a currency with 0.00, something like this. Okay, so basically we need to format. I think it's called string.format. So I'm gonna cut this from here. I'm gonna say string.format. Okay, here it is. Perfect. So now if we run it again, you will see here it is, and it shows the dollar amount. Perfect. So we are good. We have the dates, we have the information, we have the number of items, and so on, right? So and I'm doing the math correctly because I'm using this function that we created, get total, right? All right, good. So we can wire up these buttons, right? So basically when you click on this, we want to filter. So basically we go in and say it's filtering by what? So basically if you look, it seems that it's filtering by the cost, this total cost. Okay, good. So basically we'll do the same thing we did before, so basically we have all the employees, right? All the items, and then we have items that are filtered, right? Cool. So basically what I'm going to do is I'll have a double here called the total amount or filter amount, right? So this is the filter amount, and I will say equal to 0.0. This means that everything is higher than 0.0, right? All right. Now, what I'm going to do is when the user clicks on the filter, I will have to filter by that value, right? So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a function, private void filter by purchases by double amount, right? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the filter amount equal to this, right? And then I don't know if I need to store the filter amount or no, but I'm going to store it for the time being. So I'm going to say filter by that amount, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all the employees. So basically I'll have an array list of purchases, right? And I'm going to call them filter purchases. So this is all the list. So basically what I'm going to do is I need to have something like this. I'm going to go in here like this. I'm called this M filter purchases, right? This is and then as you create the view, right, on view created, okay, here it is. On view created, what I'm going to do is I am going for the time being to before I set the adapter, I'm going to say this one dot clear. And actually fine, so then we'll do this and they'll say M filtered component, then add all the purchases from the M. So this has all the purchases for the time being. And then instead of using in the adapter, instead of using employee.getSize, I'm going to use the filtered one, right? So basically this, and here we go. So basically the filtered ones are the ones that I'm going to use in the displaying, right? So now it just makes life easier. So we go here, filter amount, filter purchases. So what I could do also is I could do a small check. I could say, for example, if filter amount is greater than 0, right? Then this means there is some kind of filter amount, and basically I'm gonna cut this. Else, filter amount is everything. If it's greater than 0, then what I'm going to do is actually let's do this way. If it's greater than 0, let's cut this here. I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call this function called filter purchase by filter amount, right? So basically that's the initial amount, right? And here I can just do a simple check. If amount is greater, is less than 0, less than or equal to 0, to start off, we'll just say filter amount equals all the employees and get purchases and notify, no, I'm not going to notify any adapters, right? Here it is, okay. Else, if the amount is less than or equal to 0, right? Else, what I'm going to do is I am going to set this to his. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter. So basically, I'm going to only filter, add the ones that meet that criteria, right? So now what I'm going to do is mFilter purchases.clear, okay? And then I'm going to do clear it. I'm not going to notify the changes at all, right? And I'm just going to loop over them. For each purchase, straightforward, loop over them. This is all of them, right? Loop over all the employees' purchases. And if the purchase total amount is greater than or equal to the amount, then add it, right? So then that's it. So basically this updates the filter purchases, right? So now when I call this function, the filter purchases has exactly what needs to be displayed, right? And cool. So then it starts with what? Starts with 0, right? Or maybe we make it 0. Yeah, 0 greater than or equal to 0, and it should work, right? So basically, now this should work. It will display everything. So when you go in, nothing changed, right? We go in, pick this one, it's still displaying everything, right? Now, when I click on one of these, all what I have to do is just change the filter amount and call this function. So basically, I go back here and I scroll all the way up. Now I go here, binding dot image view, item binding dot image view, let's set on click listener, new on click listener, right? Now I need the amount, so basically I'll do filter purchases, filter purchases, get total amount, right? This is the purchase, which is this guy. And purchase to get total amount, and then notify the to adapter data sets are changed. So basically it will filter. When you click this function, when you call this function with the amount, it will take the amount and it will check, right? And then when you reset, we will see what to do in reset. Reset, basically we are going to set it to 0, right? But let's run it and see. Run this. We pick this one. Now if I pick this guy, all of them should stay, right? When I click on this guy, it's going to be only this one. I click on this guy, it shows this one. Now I can also update the record. So basically when it's this, we can do here binding.text view filter summary .set on set text. I could say all the records, right? All records. I could then go here and say greater than or equal to could say what filter records filtered by 800 or more. So basically I just need to display that value or more. So basically I'll go here and say or more. $. And then it's on bind, we have the value, so I can do the same thing. Okay, cool. So I can also change it. So now if we run this, it should display. So here we are. We go here. I pick this one. It says I pick this one. It says 25% or more. If I pick this one, which is 145% or more, click on this one. So it's this one. All right, and then reset is very easy because now I can go in and do the reset button. Easy. On view created, I could do binding dot button cancel dot set on click listener new. This is the cancel button, and then binding dot button reset dot set on click listener new view dot on click listener listener. I need a listener and so on. But anyway, the reset is easy. So the reset, all what I have to do is call this function with 0. So basically I can go in, filter amount. I can make this equal to, just in this case, why don't we have to do that and just do this? So basically all what I have to do is call this function with 0. And then notify that it has changed, right? So basically when we run this, this is the user, let's filter, and filter, and then I click on the reset, goes back. Filter, reset, filter, reset. Perfect. So basically the reset gets all the employees back into the array, right? You know, I can also clear it instead of reinitializing the whole thing again. I think it's probably better. So the filter purchases, I could clear it. So basically I'll do, I can clear it in both cases. And then we do purchases dot add all. Something like this. All right, so running this again. Okay, here we are, reset, and we're good. Okay, good. Now we just need the adapter we need the interface to build the interface. Okay, public interface, and this is the purchases listener. And then basically we just do on cancel go to purchase details. Cool. So there it is. Control C. On attach, and here we go. Good. So we have these. Now when you click on cancel, we'll just do listener.cancel, cancel purchases, and then when you click on one of the items, we want to go somewhere. So that's very straightforward. We'll have that in the adapter. So in the adapter, item binding dot get root dot set on click listener new on click listener, and then this is listener dot go to purchases, send it the purchase. Cool. So that's basically what we are going to do, and we need to implement that. So basically that listener needs to be implemented in the activity. So where's the activity here? Here we are. Control A to the end, comma, Control V. All right, and then import the class. We did that. And then we need to implement the methods. There it is. On cancel, we just the backstack. And then basically the other one, we just need to send it. I'm going to send it the employee also, the whole employee, or no, I need to send it that purchase. So I'm going to send it the purchase. All right, so here we need to send it the purchase. Which one is that? The purchase details fragment. So now we need to send it the purchase object. And we clean up this stuff here and we call it purchase. Just straightforward, and there's nothing special, because when you click, you need to go to the purchase details, which is this. Very simple. It has a total, has number of items. That's easy, and then displays the items. Okay, cool. So I'll do that. Okay, go back here. It has a purchase. Here's that, and then this is going to be a purchase. purchase. Here's that. We don't need all of these to-dos. Remove all of this, and we can copy this stuff from here. Just purchase, and then basically we put this one here. Put serializable. Put serializable. Here it is. We don't need all of that stuff. In purchase. And here's the purchase. And we cast it. So we're good here. We did pass the information. Let's set up our binding. Fragment, purchase details, binding. Binding. Here we are. And here we are. It has a cancel button. Does it have any cancel or anything? Yeah, it has a back button. So I'll do public interface details listener on cancel. Perfect. Do this here. I'm gonna do this. Listener on attach. And so I have the on attach, and then we need to this context, and here it is. Good. So we have most of the stuff happening here, right? So now we go to the main activity. When we go, we'll copy the stuff from here to here. This is the purchase, and this is purchase details fragment. We send it the purchase. I think it should work. Let's see. We pick this, and it crashes. Let's see, why does it crash? We go up. Yeah, it needs this one to be implemented. So this activity needs to implement it. I'm gonna do a comma, Control V, import the class, and now we need to implement the method. Okay, go back here. And this pops the backstack, just pops the backstack. We run this again. Okay, here it is. We pick this one, I pick this one, takes me here. Good, so we are very close. I just need employee, this one is purchase details, okay? All right, good. So what I'm gonna do is, I'll have a look at what it looks like. It looks very close to this one. But what I'm gonna do, and this is an it's 3 text views, very similar to this one, but I can reuse this one also. Okay, cool. So let's see what we're going to do here. I need let's say employees, and I'm gonna use a list view, right? So basically I'm gonna copy the employees one, right? Control A, Control C, this is the employees one, and then I have the purchase details. Go back again to the code. There's that, this is the purchase details. All right, so that's the purchase details. Let's see what we need and what we don't need. I'll keep the list view. I'll remove these. I don't need all of these. Need one text view here, and then another text view, and then a button at the bottom. And that button is back or cancel, something like that. So here it is. 1, 2. Can send it here. I'll call it cancel. Okay. What do you want to call it? Back. All right. Back. Okay, good. So we're done with this. Go back here again. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Here's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. A little bit bigger. So basically it's gonna be total and quantity. Okay. So basically total and then quantity. So this is total quantity. Here we are. Total. These are easy. I don't need a list for these. Total and quantity, and then I need a list view under it. Okay, good. So here's my list view. Here's 1. Here's 2. 1 and 2. We have our list view. We have total and quantity. I can set up these text views to look a little bit better, but I think that's good enough. Now what I'm going to do is it needs 3 text views. So basically if I look here, the employee one has 3 text views. So if you look at the employee one, it has, the employee list item has 3 text views, right? Copy that, Control V, and that's gonna call it the order. Order item, here it is. Has a name, so basically this is also called name, I think. Name, good. And then it has call this equation or something. Let's see if I can do this here. I'll call this one, instead of department, I'll call it equation. And then the equation one needs to go also here. And then this one is total. Call it total. All right, here we are. Name, equation, and total. Good. So I have these. Now I just need to build the layout. It's very simple because you get a list of items, right? Here it is. Okay, go back here. Good. So item details. Where's the purchase item details? We go back here. I need the title to be item details. Okay. All right. Good here. Nice. All right. So we go back to the purchase item details. Okay. And let's create the interface. The adapter for class. This is going to be called the order adapter extends array adapter of type item. All right. Now we need to import this guy. And then here we go. Import class. Create constructor with the list of items, and we're good to go. Right, so it's this. All right, so this should be simple. Get view, and again we're gonna return the convert view. And then what happens here is really boilerplate. So we have the binding. Remember which binding we created? It's list item order. Item binding if convert view. Yes, here it is. Cool. And then we could get item equal to this. Item name equals text view name. Get item name. Okay, good. Item binding dot text view equation dot set text. Cool. So here it is. Perfect. Item binding dot set. Okay, and you just multiply the quantity by the price, and we're good. That's it. That's the order adapter. So refactor rename. Where is the rename here? Adapter. Okay. Cool. So we have the order adapter. On view created, here is the order adapter, right? So here it is. Adapter equals to this, and then the resource is r.layout list order item order. Is it the same one we are using here? Let's see. This item order item. Okay, good. Okay, here it is, and then binding dot text list view dot set adapter to adapter to adapter to adapter. binding.button.set on click listener new mlistener.cancel. All right, good. So on cancel details, here's that. Good. So we are done with this, done with that, and it should display. Should it? Binding? Yeah, I think it should. There are two text views at the top. We can easily calculate or show. Here it is. Pick this one. Pick this order, and here it is. Click on back. Now let's do the math at the top. So basically here, binding.text view total, set text total is this, get total amount. Good. So that's this one, and then binding.text view quantity set text string get items size quantity, and basically I'm going to say items here, right? So something like this. We run this, you pick this one, let's pick this one, 6 items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this is the cost for each one of them. You click on back, the filter works, you click here, click on this guy, it still goes back. When I go back, it still displays the same one. Reset, and I click on cancel, same story, reset, and so on. So that's the assignment. Pretty straightforward if you have an idea exactly what you're trying to do, but you see it is very intense in usage of these adapters. All right, so please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.